Just blaze. Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then we mad.
Yeah, fuck that Final Fantasy VII remake, right?
We're gonna keep that in.
Yeah, keep that in there. All right, people. Welcome to the React Podcast for E3 2015, the press conferences. So we're all here in this fancy Hollywood hotel, chilling, trying to recoup after today. Charles especially, you know.
This is going to take me some months.
Yeah, and this is a dope podcast because this is the kind of podcast we always want to do, live.
Yeah.
You know, there's not going to be any weird lag or any of that bullshit. You know?
Skype lag.
Exactly. All right, so with me today, we got James Lugo.
What up, people? E3 2015.
Emilio Lopez.
Why, hello there.
David Jagano.
What's up?
Garrett Glass.
Yo.
The aforementioned Charles Singletary Jr.
Sony wins. Flawless victory.
And me.
I was going to say fatality.
Ultra
Combo! That's what I was like, yeah, that clearly was that. But we'll get to that.
And of course, myself, Tony Polanco. Let's get into it. We're just going to run down each of them, you know, as they happen. Microsoft. They dropped a bomb.
Yep.
They dropped the bomb. They're like, hey guys, you know that thing, that backwards compatibility thing? We got you.
You know,
fuck
I
PlayStation now.
Yeah, fuck PlayStation now.
I do have a comment about that.
Okay.
In a way, it's a little frustrating because it's just another thing that they're saying before that's impossible, but now they've changed their mind.
That's a good
They
point.
flip-flopped on it. That's like the third thing they did.
Yeah.
Here's the Xbox One, but you have to have the Kinect on. Just kidding, no you don't.
Yeah, you
Here's
don't.
the Xbox One, you cannot share games with people. Just kidding, yes you can. Here's the Xbox One, oh you can play 360 games now.
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
Yeah, I didn't think about
Where are
that.
they
He's
gonna
right.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But yeah.
There's just a couple of things that I think might be interesting. Does this also go with a lot of the games that you've bought on Xbox Live? That's something that James.
Yeah, that was one of the things I said because I have a lot of Xbox Live games connected to my 360. I don't have anymore.
Didn't they say something about that?
I
I thought they said that yours is going to
Yeah.
start populating in your PSN.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So if that's the case, then
I mean,
I'm
I-
okay.
Actually, I just thought of something. What about memory? Like, you have to start from scratch. Like, can you? Because you can't have your old memory cards. Whatever the fuck.
Save files? Oh, you
Yeah.
start from scratch, Jack.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
it's
because
just
it doesn't use cloud saves like the...
Not like
Xbox
PlayStation
One.
Plus.
Yeah, so it does, yeah, so you're
That makes
outside.
sense.
But I think it will now because they said a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of backwards
yeah.
compatible games aren't losing
Yeah.
Xbox One features. So.
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
And then, even though the news is pretty big, we have to remember it's only for 100 games right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
And I know that will not include the previous Halo games because it's an HD version of that.
Chief
Yep.
Yeah.
And there will
And
be that
Gears.
and Gears of War.
Strategically remove them from the list.
Yeah.
Didn't even mention them.
Just gonna ninja them out there.
Yeah, one thing I think is interesting now, I'm forgetting the fucking name, I'm fucking out. Not GameStop.
GameStop.
They can get back into games, start selling 360 games. And you know what they can do, right? On the box. Also works on Xbox One.
Exactly.
Money!
Just to take that question out for all the parents out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because they're going to have to retrain their sales pitches because, you know, it's always been, oh, these aren't backwards compatible.
Yeah, but now...
So,
But remember, some games are backwards compatible, some aren't.
It's just
There's
like,
going to be a list.
it's just
Yeah.
it's definitely like the 360 where it's like
Yeah.
It grew over time.
some
Yeah,
games,
yeah.
some games don't work,
Definitely.
some games do. Yo man, you can't play sneaking though. I know they ain't
You
good.
know, I made that exact joke with the 360.
You can't play no sneaking.
Well, when the Xbox One first came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so besides that, we got some games.
Got some Halo.
Yeah, Halo or the Zinc, what's up?
Sprinting in Halo.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, this is the first thing I thought of. I saw the trailer, I'm like, this looks like Call of Duty with all this like destruction going on, like all this other
you know what it
shit.
really looked like to me? It looked like Destiny.
Oh,
Yeah,
after
first
that,
exactly.
yeah.
First of all, Guardian is in the name. Second of all, they have the kind of ground pound ability in the
That
video.
is true.
Third, there were colors everywhere from all the abilities. It looked just like Destiny.
Yeah, no, after I saw the Call of Duty and saw all the destruction and stuff, then it was like, okay, this is Destiny now. Yeah.
Hey man, they were like, yo, Bungie is dope. We gotta do a Bungie deal. People love Bungie. Let's get this Bungie money.
Exactly.
Follow my daddy.
But I mean, it definitely looked impressive.
Oh yeah.
Like, the fact that you're gonna have 4-player co-op with both sides of the story
That's
throughout
pretty
the
big.
entire game. That is impressive. I wonder if they're going to have AI for the rest of the guys if you're not playing co-op, though.
Well, it looked like some of them might have been AI already, because the way he kind of directed them, it looked like one of them just went like, you know.
On stage, there was 4 people with 4 controllers.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So either that was an illusion, which it very well could be, or...
Yeah, that is a good point.
More likely, yeah.
I mean, it would make sense. Like, you don't have to give them that. Like, Halo's campaign isn't going to be that complex if you can't just tell somebody, hey, go over there and shoot.
Yeah.
Or go defend this area.
Exactly.
I noticed it reminded me of that old first-person shooter that was made from Star Wars. It was
Rogue
Commander.
Dark Forces?
No, the one they did all the hand commands. It was from one of the
I know.
one of the Commandos.
Yeah.
I just watched gameplay on that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that one was a good
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
the way he was kind of those hands around like that. That was like,
Yeah.
I felt like that game was underrated, but that was
Yeah. So that was the game that kicked off Microsoft's thing. Now Microsoft's thing usually starts with Call of Duty, but we'll talk about that later, won't we?
We'll get
Dropping the seed just for later on in this show. So they had that. They showed Tomb Raider. Like that was a pretty good demo they had for it too.
I was gonna say that she is totally danger prone. Everything is breaking.
Yeah. I was tweeting out during the thing. I was like, what we're learning right now is never hang out with Lara Croft. It's the worst series of events that could ever happen. You think your ice pick is going to go there? No, it's not going to go there because this is going to fall apart.
At least Nathan Drake does make a jump a lot of the time, and the ground doesn't break underneath.
Nathan Drake is just a bad driver. He just crashes into stuff.
Yeah, like Laura makes a jump and the whole mountain comes crashing down. Then she jumps again and there's this avalanche.
Because in the first game, you felt like you were dealing with a very inexperienced Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay, in this one it's going to be great. And then nope, slip, ribs broken. I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah,
We're going to be dealing with this crap all over.
This one, it's like she's always just something's always breaking off, and they're always doing that one-handed shot. They literally did that one-handed shot like three different times.
Now I will say the game looked gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it looked very nice.
Absolutely.
With all those one-handed shots, you know she's going to have a buff right arm though.
She's making some gains. Serious gains.
Somebody should draw a picture of her with a big arm
right.
Like Sylvester Stallone from Over the Top.
Yeah. Exactly.
What about Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves, very interesting.
The rare games.
Yeah, that was
very
pretty cool.
Very cool looking.
Take my
Very
name.
stylized. Remind me very like a mixture of not only Banjo-Kazooie, as far as the music and stuff, but also a little bit of Conker.
A little bit. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It said, they announced that after they talked about the rare collection.
the rare
and I would go. This should have been called. What was it? The reminiscent of Rare making games collection.
When Rare was good.
When Rare used to make games collection.
Yeah. They did kind of trick me with that because we get this collection of all the classic Rare games with the classic Rare team that made them, and then the new Rare team's like, hey, look at this game. It's going to be good. Just check it out.
Remember all those games that you just saw and you loved? This has nothing to do with any of those.
But believe in us.
Now, that collection's got a lot of games, though. There's all the Banjo-Kazooie, Conker, Jet Force Gemini, everything. Battletoads, a lot.
No Diddy Kong Racing.
No Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't do that. Unless they reskin it.
They reskin it, right?
The
Banjo-Kazooie Racing.
Yeah.
For me, though, the biggest mic drop moment was hands down Minecraft HoloLens.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Minecraft, but I would play it to do
all of that.
Just for the mere fact that I can play with Legos and not have to pick them up after.
Yeah.
What I said was really cool.
Pretty solid.
Using that technology, imagine playing like a Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering game.
Yes.
And have projection from the cards. That would be so awesome. That's ideal for that.
It's a part. The thing is that it's a wearable AR system.
Yeah.
Like in other words, it's the same thing that's in your DS. It's the same thing that's in your Vita, except you're wearing a headset.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that Microsoft picked the best way that they could possibly portray this. That was my biggest. That was
incredible.
I've said it on our show, The Throwdown. That was my biggest fear. It's like, okay, we're going to be VR headsets and VR headsets, and there's no way that you could actually.
Everyone's going to look like Stevie Wonder.
There's no way you could even show this sort of experience because it's so personal.
Yeah.
But they had an AR camera there, like, all right, this is what's going on.
This is what he is seeing.
This is what he is seeing.
And that was very cool the way they did it, because he went from the wall over to the table, which I thought was the coolest thing. When he did
something I didn't even think about that was actually pretty incredible. For this to seemingly be early in its life, you realize that they had to have the perspective of two different sets of glasses actually syncing up correctly for that to work like that.
Well, definitely. I mean, it's obvious that it's using a lot of their tech from the Kinect and all that stuff. So they're good to go with that.
Yeah. I'm definitely down to pay for two pairs and get some Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, there are so many possibilities too for like an RTS.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just black and white you were talking about.
Yeah, for like a God game, like a black and white style game.
You could also pull the HUD off of your screen.
Yeah,
because again, those things are just built to be, like somewhat transparent. Yeah. So you could have your HUD off the screen, and you could still be playing, but those glasses are your gaming glasses now.
Yeah.
The one question I had about it is how opaque and how clear do these images get? I mean, even from this video, it just looked like everything was solid.
Yeah.
How consistent? How does that look?
Yeah, Here's the thing with AR, like, me personally, I don't really care for it, but that demonstration was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was.
Let me ask you this. I know we'll get more into it later, like when we talk about PlayStation stuff. Do you wish that PlayStation, when we're talking about Morpheus, kind of like found some sort of way to show whatever?
But they
we'll get into that. We'll get into that because I do have. I'll have something to say.
Okay. We'll wait. I'll wait.
I know we all want to talk about Sony, but we'll wait.
And then just move on, like those indie games.
Yeah, there was
Xbox.
Dude, Cuphead.
Some good ones.
They brought the indie games to the table. They put their money where their mouth is, and I'm glad that they're focusing on that.
And they spent a good amount of time on it too.
A lot of it too.
They did more. They did more than Sony did than normal, because Sony normally spent a lot of time on it. So,
but it was a good looking bunch of stuff. They had Steve Gaynor who did Gone Home.
Yep.
I do have to say that some of those trailers were quite confusing as to what the games were.
See, okay, Tacoma was the most frustrating because we got a trailer last year that led up to the screen that said Tacoma. That was it.
Yeah.
Then they take us into the game to another room that opens the door to the screen that says Tacoma again. And I'm like, are you like, that doesn't count. I'm not counting that as gameplay.
Obviously, Steve Gaynor, what kind of game you're going to get, like, very narrative heavy sort of game, stuff like that.
So they can't show that much.
But they can't show that much. But at the same time, it's like, what are we playing?
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting into.
So let me ask you guys this: what did you guys think of that Recore game that they showed?
Recore,
I think was a cool idea.
fucking
You know what I have to say about that? I say gameplay or get the fuck out.
Good point. Yes, I'm with you. I want to see gameplay.
I like that trailer. And you know what? We kind of got spoiled this year. There were not many times that it was just straight CG.
Yeah.
Like we thought it was, and then all of a sudden the camera centered in and gameplay started.
Or with Tomb Raider, the little saving icon.
I was like, they're really sitting there.
They're playing games.
They're listening.
You specifically.
We gonna get there.
We heard you, Charles.
We gonna get there, dog.
Well, how about Beyond Eyes? I thought that looked pretty interesting.
Yes. The fact that it's a legally blind person developing it.
I like that. And I like the way the game interpreted it. Like, everything outside of their immediate little field is just completely blank.
I think there's also, like, I'm thinking that she's not fully blind. I think she can see some things, and I think that's what that represents.
Yeah,
the space that she perceives.
Like she's nearsighted or something.
Yeah, and also the fact that you notice that some of the things weren't defined unless they were making some kind of movement or sound. Like the dog was partly disappearing. Still, so I like that kind of thing. Cool. It makes me think of Daredevil game.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be cool.
But Daredevil would be able to see the whole city, though.
That's true. Well, you hit like a radar button and he's just like holes in on everything.
It'll just look, what it'll just look like? It'll just look like Detective Vision.
Exactly. The entire game of Detective Vision.
Right, we got to talk about Forza now.
Dude, cars coming from the ceiling.
Thank you for saying that. I like that.
What the heck?
Because I'm watching this, right? And I'm like, wait. Okay, there's a fucking.
I want to know how they got that in there first off. Like that was just weird.
I had to post that little video clip to our Instagram. Like, this is fucking cool. Like, that's what that big shit was.
That's what I posted on Facebook. I posted backwards compatibility was a mic drop, but then Forza just dropped a literal car.
You know what? You know how everybody has the joke where, like, you had one job. Let's commend the one job guy on that because he had to get the 415 in, drop it down for 10 cents.
And then drop it right back.
Job done. He is completely finished.
Yep.
That was great.
But Forza, we expect Forza to be Forza.
Yeah.
That was cool that they had Henry Ford there. It's the debut of the Ford GT.
Yeah.
And everything. That was cool to actually integrate with.
I wonder if the car can get damaged.
Damage free edition.
What does it say about that?
That actually reminds me of a surprising omission from this year. We'll get to that one.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that.
Man,
I have a quick question, Manny. I'm asking you specifically. You think we're going to see that car being driven around? Remember last year for Forza?
Yeah, they had but the thing is that Ford car is not even out yet.
Oh, so it can't.
The Forza cars that they had driving around were just current truck cars.
Yeah, because they had like Lamborghinis.
Lamborghinis and stuff.
Okay,
so they'll probably park it.
Yeah, park it.
Put it in one spot.
I'm only asking. I want some pictures.
I'm gonna say at the Xbox booth, just like they before every single.
Yeah, they have to turn
have it sitting in there.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say about Forza. It looks nice.
It looks nice.
It looks like Forza.
It looks like
it's
Forza.
going to be Forza Motorsport.
It was exactly what you expected.
And it had 1080p, 60 frames locked.
They definitely pushed that right up on that.
What we got next?
There's a few other games we could talk about, but we should probably just move on.
Yeah,
we can say Gears.
I mean,
Gears. Oh, yeah,
Gears Collection coming out in August.
At some point, Gears of 4.
Well, Gears
Ultimate. Right now it's just called Gears 4.
Yeah, Gears 4, yeah.
It looks like they have a new league, which, from my understanding, with Gears events, they have to.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, that's not that looked like the sniper guy to me.
Barry?
Yeah, the blonde dude.
No, that didn't look like Barry.
I don't think so.
I mean, no, that wasn't
face
Barry.
was different. Yeah.
I think it was,
and the voice actor was maybe.
I interpreted it as like that was probably like Marcus's son or something.
Maybe.
That's what I thought.
How did he have a blonde son?
No, I was like, Marcus is.
Let's just congratulate ourselves and the rest of the Coalition team on making a pretty nice looking game, though.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yo, we knocked that out of the park.
What?
Yeah, it was
You
solid.
see that 1080p right there?
Yeah.
But that game looks. I mean, honestly, like Forza, it looks like Gears.
It looks like Gears.
I was just asking, where is this that there's these weird alien monsters and a friggin' castle?
They're like,
Like, where are they? It's like,
the aliens be like predators. Like they got the predator.
The backdrops look like Doom. Like they were in hell. Like,
and because in the other Gears, like there was like in the other Gears, they were on another planet. They were on another planet, and they just had these like. These different libraries and things. But this looks like a literal fucking castle somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe it's... Well,
maybe in the Earth.
Yeah. I don't know all the Metal Gear War, but I'm like, it's another planet.
I don't know.
It's Earth, but it's...
Is it Earth? I don't know.
It is Earth. I remember
Earth has been taken over.
Because what I'm surprised is that they're not going back and telling the story about E-Day. Because that was a big thing in the Gears War. It's like, what happened? How did the actions be? Because I don't even think they explored that in Gears of War Judgment.
That could be DLC. Because people are going to want to see Marcus. At some point.
Exactly.
So that could be DLC.
I'm back, guys.
Exactly.
I'm Bender.
Sure. And then multiplayer.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we'll see multiplayer.
Yeah.
But I can't see it.
What about Fable? Did we see enough of that?
We got
Fable.
We got the same thing that we
did.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
it's going to be cool. It's free to play. It's on PC also.
That was actually kind of why they brought it up, because they were talking about PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Which, props for them showing Elite Dangerous and Gigantic and early access
Gigantic
for their games, which is
I need to say, because you've been talking about Gigantic all this time. I haven't seen it until today. I'm like,
that game is
very nice.
It looks like the kind of game that's just pure fun to play.
It looks good. Oh, the controller. Charles is making a face.
It was beautiful until I saw the price.
Dude, that's killer.
$50. I mean, granted, when you really break it down, it's probably worth that much.
It's customizable.
Especially playing, because if I use it with my PC and I use it with my Xbox, and I switch all that different stuff up.
I definitely think that it's cool that they're kind of doing a bit of a union between them. It's kind of something that people have been hoping for since the first Xbox.
Yeah.
But now they're doing it more. It's like, all right, we're trying to push this Windows 10 shit. And we're trying to push this Xbox stuff. Why the hell aren't they working together?
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's it for Microsoft.
Yeah, pretty much. They did quickly bring up VR, not AR, VR.
Like, they're the little deal with they're doing with Valve.
They had to mention it.
It's amazing that that they're working with Valve since Mr. Gaiman said some pretty nasty things about Microsoft and Windows.
Yeah,
money does talk.
Well, then again, remember he talked shit about PlayStation. Look what happened with Portal too.
Yeah.
But we can move on. EA was the next one. What happened?
Do we want to give it a letter grade?
Do we? Like,
I'll give it an A.
I give it a B.
I'll give it a B plus. It was a good show. It was a really good show.
I mean, it definitely
it was a nice show.
It definitely made me think about picking up an Xbox.
That's a good point. It made me think about that too. And by the end of it, I was pretty certain that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. All right, let's move on to less great things. EA, they did start things off well, though. They had Mass Effect. Yeah, That's all I really need.
No gameplay.
The promise of Mass Effect, but it wasn't gameplay at all. Charles was making a face again. No gameplay.
I was disagreeing with what Charles was saying.
It wasn't gameplay, but it was in-game footage.
Yes.
Because BioWare doesn't do CG.
Yeah. Well, they do something.
For trailers, but not gameplay. Like, they don't have CG cutscenes.
So, the stuff that we saw after that.
I mean, we got a confirmation of what it's called. It's called a drop.
Yeah. And it's using the Frostbite thing? I didn't get that, no?
They are, yeah. All the EA games are using them now.
I mean, granted, their engine's looking pretty nice. I mean,
they didn't say much about it, but on the blog they confirmed that you play as a human, male or female, and it takes place very long after the original trilogy and in a totally different galaxy.
Hold on, I thought it took place during the original trilogy.
No, it's after. Wait.
Ooh, so we might get some answers about what really happened at the end of Mass Effect then.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, now
which ending is it going to?
Which one? Which color?
Which color was it? Shepard's mind controls all the Reapers. That's the version I did.
Here's the other thing. It's like, okay, so I mean, are they going to just go with the blank slate deal, where it's like, okay, all the decisions that you make somehow going to go into that?
Well,
wait. Didn't Mass Effect also upload itself or something like that to the
cloud?
No, you know what they're going to do? They're going to make you just replicate it via a question thing. Like, do this. Dragon Age.
But those two are completely different universe. There are only certain key things that will matter.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, they're going to another galaxy, so not much is going to transfer. Maybe some dialogue.
It'll probably be something with Tally's people, something with Legion.
Yeah.
Your final decision that you made. I can't really think of anything else.
I mean, the thing is that
if you say
it also takes a place in a different galaxy. So
I'm just waiting for that to be relevant.
I
remember the first game. I was like, "Yo, I saved."
In the third, all she does is that she comes back and helps you in the third game. Like if you
only hear about it.
She just shows up. Like, that's it. It's like okay.
I know the same thing would be done exactly like Dragon Age Inquisition. Because all your save stuff is already put on their servers.
So I definitely think whatever your decisions were in the last game will just show up.
I think it'll be part of lore.
Yeah, that'd be more.
Like you might read something about the Shepard or something.
They're putting it in Andromeda Galaxy for a reason.
They're going as far away as possible.
Exactly.
I think that's the smartest approach because if it's a prequel, then you know what it's leading up to.
Yeah,
there's an expectation.
If it's too closely related, then it just feels like you're doing leftover Shepard stuff.
Yeah.
So this way it gets to maintain the core of what a Mass Effect is, but
stay away from that.
I'm glad you're doing that.
Here's the thing. Now they have all this facial scanning shit, right? That they're using for the basketball games.
Yeah.
Can't you just use that for that Mass Effect?
That would be
I'd be totally down for that, yeah.
Can't that would be awesome. Like, in other words, or you scan an action figure?
That'd be That'd be a good question. Speaking of that facial recognition stuff, it was pretty cool. It was pretty interesting.
I gotta call bullshit on it. I gotta call bullshit on it. It's like, look how well this looks. And here's a model of something we did weeks ago and probably touched up.
I know, right?
Come on, man. Get the
the footage from the camera, I think, was spot on. They probably just touched that gameplay up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But the camera thing, I mean, I can see that being pretty accurate. Plus, they've done it before, just not on the mobile.
They've done the facial scans with the Xbox and with the PlayStation.
Yeah. It was just a website. You took a picture. I did it in Fight Night. I done it in Madden.
Yeah, I remember in Fight Night.
For the later games, like for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 4, you could actually use the camera that came with it. And you just do the same thing where you just kind of go, ooh, but there you go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit with EA. But what's up with that part with Pele? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't understand the man's the legend. I understand the man's the legend and all. But I think that portion of it could have been put somewhere else and expanded upon.
You've got to know your audience. What they should have done is had a live interview at their booth.
At their booth, that's what I'm saying.
That would have fans would know the one.
And actually expand upon it, because that's an interesting man to talk to. But like,
you can't get enough. You don't get enough time to hear what we would like to hear from Pele.
In
this conference.
That's what I'm saying.
And I feel like also he is obviously in the game, and so is the other.
Why didn't he introduce the game? That's what I was asking myself.
Well, why didn't he introduce the game? And why wasn't it made clear that he was in the game? They just showed like a picture of him and this other
scorecard.
Yeah, they just showed those two, and they're like, all right, so what?
That's what I thought they were going to say.
Yeah, they were like, hey, all the people that are playing Ultimate, you have Lionel Messi and Pele now.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Cool.
I mean, number one, it's like, if you're gonna have Pele there, you're gonna have Pele in the game. You
say that he's in the game.
Say that he's in the game. Don't just roll him out and have an interview and slow down the whole conference.
Yeah, it was just weird. Again, it's like, okay, that's cool. You really should interview Pele, but in a different venue.
It was weird.
Yeah, real quick, I want to touch on how awesome Unravel looks.
Yes.
Unravel is actually pretty cool.
Unravel's really cool.
Did you see the guy's hands, man? Like
he was shaking. He was nervous.
Yeah, he was.
It was cute.
Like the thing is,
I don't know if it.
It was like the trigger from No Man's Sky.
It made it more endearing.
I told him I felt the same way about when Hello Games was brought on for No Man's Sky last year.
Yeah.
Because he was super nervous
up
there. But you can also tell he was super excited to be up there because like these guys don't expect to have these moments.
Like the guy said, like 2 years ago when he was playing in the forest with Yarn, he probably never thought he would be on stage at E3.
Yeah. So I definitely have to commend EA for reaching out. Especially, it's EA. Like, who expects them to go for something like that?
Exactly.
To bring up onto the main stage. Like, definitely didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, what are they? Is EA doing more kind of like independent?
Maybe.
I think they want to branch out away from their like Rinse Compete.
It's also a very Ubisoft thing to do.
Kind of, yeah.
Exactly. I wouldn't even have been surprised if Ubisoft had them on stage.
Exactly. If they had that game, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
They'll probably have a Rayman character added in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if this game's gonna have like a bunch of DLC and stuff, season pass.
This
is EA, man.
Oh my goodness, dude. You gotta pay for EA access. Your Yarn gonna be two stages.
That's what I'm saying,
One
man.
thing I was wondering is like, how much yarn does that little guy have in him?
I thought it was gonna be like part of the narrative, like towards the end that he's small. And the yarns
people are gonna be crying by the end. By the way, one part I thought was funny. The lady comes out, she's like, "All right, guys, let's talk about mobile," and then everybody's like, "No, let's not talk about mobile."
That was everybody's reaction.
Like, you notice, like the chatter just went up after, because nobody wanted to hear about this woman talking about mobile. It's like, come on, get out of here with that bullshit.
It's like they just needed something to fill the space.
I understand that also mobile makes them a lot of money, but at the same time, we're not. We
don't give a fuck.
For real. Number one, the people who do mobile do not watch these.
Yeah, no, they don't. You give us a montage and you keep going.
Not only is it just a different audience, but it's one of those things where the more you talk about it, the less I want to do it. I like playing mobile games, and I'll pay a little bit every now and then, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of that. I don't want people to know that I'm paying money to play a collectible card game. That's not even real.
Just a little minion game would be decent.
And the thing is that they obviously know that people know the Minions thing, so they decide, let's shoot this. It's like, man, that's not.
What they should have done is sneak that promo into like a Lifetime movie commercial. That's your audience right there.
This is very true.
But Star Wars.
You can hire me. I'm looking.
Wait, no. We gotta talk about Need for Speed.
Yes. Please talk about Need for Speed. Need for Speed looks fucking amazing.
It looks very nice.
When I buy it, I'm calling it Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah.
They don't want to call it that.
Charles, I'm already calling it that. I'm already calling it that. I'm calling it Underground 2 already. Just skipping ahead.
We're back to the customer.
The one thing I did also mention at the show is that the game does this one thing when you drift, it kind of zooms around.
Yeah, I like that.
And I could feel like that could be a little bit annoying if you're trying to play it, and then the camera starts to do this dramatic zoom around.
But it's also in pre-alpha. So we send them emails and get them complaints.
And it looks that good in pre-alpha.
No, that shit's getting delayed, Jack.
Yeah.
Because they said it was coming out November.
They did say November.
Yeah, they said November.
Yeah, they said
and
November.
They said November before the gameplay started, and I saw pre-alpha. I was like, delayed.
It's cute that they're optimistic, but
That's
well, the one thing about they're like physically based shading, right? Physically based shading is really an ingenious sort of lighting. Essentially, all it is just they put a light in a room and it's actually illuminating things. A lot of older games use a lot of tricks to get things to look good.
Yeah.
So when you use physically based shading like that, you can get a really good image, and all you're really doing is setting how shiny or how not shiny something is, and then you're getting this amazing image. Mm-hmm. It's not as bad as just like, all right, we got to do the bump maps, you got to do all the textures.
Yeah.
I also really loved how seamlessly that live action footage transition
right into the menu stuff.
That was, I remember that from Most Wanted. They did that, but
it was corny.
You could tell.
I'm kind of glad that they stuck to their guns, because in those games I was like, this is terrible. Please stop doing it. And now I've seen it and it looks good. I'm like,
and I feel like the actors they picked they were campy enough to where it felt like, okay, this is kind of funny and cool, but then they weren't. You didn't cringe.
Yeah.
Like they were
because they didn't focus on them that much.
Yeah.
It was just like, you're got a mechanic.
I just find it funny how 20 years later we're finally getting full motion video right. Like,
That's great.
Like Guitar Hero was doing it, now this,
that's fun.
By the way, before we get to Star Wars, Mirror's Edge look pretty cool.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge Callus.
Mirror's Edge look pretty nice, and I'm not a fan.
They're talking an open world, rooftop area.
Yeah.
I like that they added color to the city.
Yeah.
That was my problem with the first game.
Yeah, it's not just white and red.
And there's white and blue in the sky.
Because they wanted that to be the signifiers of difficulty running through this area, but now they have the footprints and shit.
You saw that. Elza pointed that out too. Now they pointed out so you could jump up, what things you can jump up, because they put little footprints or something like that.
Oh, and did they say something that Faith in this one's not going to use guns, period? Remember the first Mirror's Edge? You were able to use pistols and stuff?
I'm fine with that, because the combat turns into what they have set up, when she got uppercut and back, roll back, jump off the wall and kick that dude. If it is that intricate, don't do guns, because when I picked up a gun in the first one, it was OP as shit, because it's just you're fighting, and then I'm like, well, shoot, it's I kill everybody before I even run down there.
Yeah,
exactly. And it just didn't feel right. It felt like they just put it there because people are going to want guns. We got to put guns.
And it was out of place.
And I love how fluid the camera is, where when you roll over, you actually have to roll.
The
camera does the full flip around,
as opposed to just showing some feet going woo. Roll.
But I'm wondering if that was in the engine though.
They said it's
right. They didn't say, but I hope it is, because that looked nice.
It looked very nice.
I think it's definitely. I wonder if they're going to do those little cinematics like we did, the weird comic cinematics. I felt that was the biggest.
I hope they don't do that.
I don't want them to do that.
I felt like those things were kind of the biggest flaw of the old Mirror's.
Yeah, the flash animation bullshit.
Yeah, because the animation did not
match the
actual game. I could see if it actually they both felt
like it worked for Infamous, because I feel like
same thing
because there's supposed to be a comic book.
In Peace Walker it worked out really well.
Yeah, it did.
I feel like for Mirror's Edge it didn't really work out.
It did,
and it didn't look good.
I gotta say this though, after Dying Light, this game needs to step up when it comes to the parkour in first person.
Yeah, and I think that's what they did. They looked at it, because I think the biggest, as much as people liked the Mirror's Edge game, that game was fucking hard.
Yes.
Just to do those goddamn moves, just to get her to run up a wall, all that stuff.
Very specific.
Even the press complained about how difficult it was.
Granted, I guess that was part of the challenge of it. It's like, oh, hey, you gotta run off of this wall. I fell off into the. Actually, actually last year when they released it for free.
Yeah.
I actually downloaded it and beat it.
I got it too. I never got around playing it.
Because I bought it at first. I don't know what happened to it. I didn't finish it the first time I played it.
But one thing about it I have to say, I was like, after playing it, I was like, all right, that was a decent experience. But at the same time, I think it was a good idea. But I just felt like
it was a good start.
It was a good start.
It felt like sort of like a tech demo for a game that could be better.
Yeah, definitely. All right, JJ.
Star Wars. Not a good Star Wars shit. I mean,
the game looks nice.
The Old Republic, the DLC, the expansion. I think that's pretty dope.
I'm saying that's the game that everybody wanted.
Oh, the Fallen Empire.
Yeah.
Fallen Empire.
Yeah. Charles has his hands up in there right now.
Come on, that's
flip the table.
But in that moment that the Luke came out with the saber.
And Hoth.
The first moment in Hoth when you see the force choke and the guy just go off.
Yeah.
I was like, it's on now.
Oh man.
And also
dope.
I would like to mention that Luke Skywalker was wearing the wrong outfit. He is not supposed to be wearing the black outfit from Return of the Jedi, and his lightsaber was the wrong color.
Now that it's awesome that we finally got gameplay. Everybody was pissed because the alleged gameplay was so scripted in the last one.
Yeah.
The only difference is that it had the camera angles and everything. Because this was still really well scripted.
It was obviously
a little more exciting though.
They were also jumping around. I mean, they were also jumping around to different maybe players. I want to say.
Yeah, they were, which was good. And
they showed third person.
They kind of knocked out, because everybody had this criticism of the game beforehand. There's no space battles, blah blah blah. One of those things they said was that you couldn't pilot an AT-AT, which I don't know where they got that from. But clearly we saw that you could.
Yeah, we saw it,
The thing is, what everybody was talking about was that the AT-AT, its actual movement, and I think in the Walker Assault one, is that it's on rails. So, you can still move and go between the guns and, actually move the head and stuff, but you can't steer it. That's what they were talking about.
And I remember seeing it in action, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, because it's exciting.
I don't feel like it's something, you're not going to stay in it the whole round,
Yeah,
exactly. Because that's like your OP machine. You defend it, trying to get to wherever it's going.
Now, I will say the flying was dope.
That
was awesome.
There was a later demo that was shown of that, where they showed a totally different area, and that was for the Sony thing. But I thought that with that mountainous area that they showed,
I think it was Tatooine.
No, it wasn't.
It was a different planet.
Was it cool for this episode 7?
I don't know. It was just a mountain. It just looked like the Grand Canyon. It was
we learned that you can play the game on your own if you want with AI.
Yeah, there's missions.
Which is good. Yeah. Because my big thing, I'm like, damn, it's going to be nothing but multiplayer. I was thinking about Titanfall. Like, oh, come on.
But as long as it's objective based, and again, it has that type of presentation stuff, I'm
I
don't even need a story, because I remember Battlefront 2 had the story of the stormtroopers, over the different sagas. This one's actually pretty dope. I like this.
All right. Anything else about EA? Nothing. No, we're good. Okay. The press conference most of us didn't go to. And then Ubisoft.
Tell the story about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we take a shuttle because it's the farthest one away from everything.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And apparently there was their registration was really screwy. Tony transferred me his wristband, which also we didn't even mention this part. We get on the bus and I have the wristband and he asked for a ticket.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, I have the wristband. He's like, but you need a ticket. And we're like, what are you talking about?
Here's the thing. When I got on the bus, I didn't need a ticket. I just walked in.
He changed right when we got there. Because he was stamping people that had a ticket, right?
Yeah.
And then right as we're about to get off, he was like, hey, just give me your hand. And he started stamping people.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, so that should have been a sign that this is going to be terrible.
And then, so we asked him specifically, is there a media line? For people that don't have tickets. And he's like, yeah, it's in the back.
No, he said there was one. He didn't say where.
Oh, yeah.
We got
off.
He
didn't know where it was.
Yeah, so we got off and we started asking people, hey, where's the media line?
Yeah.
I think we asked 3 people. 2 said back. 1 said there wasn't one.
Yeah.
So the third person was like, it's around the back. Because we were at the front of the line about to go in. And he said, press is around the back.
Yeah.
So we go around the back and there's a guy there. And actually, you know what I just thought about? We asked that lady when we were going around and said, where's the press line? And she pointed at him. And we go to him and he says there is no press line. I just thought about it.
We had a run around.
Yeah.
Insane.
Once we got in the back, the guy in the back said, there's no press line. There's never been a press line. I don't know who's telling you there's a press line. And he pulled out his walkie-talkie and started trying to tell people there's not a press line.
Yeah.
So we go back to the front, and then we get told to go to this line, and that line tells us to go to that line, and this line tells us to go to that line.
It was a kerfuffle, pretty much.
It's
insane.
And then I get in.
Okay.
This is what's crazy.
So JJ and David get into one of the 4 fucking lines. And I get into the event, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go in and try to find space and hold it.
Yeah.
So I get into the door, but like the theater doors are closed. And I'm thinking, the show started, so I need to just open it, be quiet, and walk through. But I go up to the door, and they were like, it's closed, you have to go to the side room.
Yeah.
And one of the other guys that was like next to me, some random dude, was like, what are you talking about? It was like, yeah, it's full now, you need to go to the side room. So I go in there, they're giving out ice cream and water bottles, and there's like folding chairs and a projector screen.
Yeah.
And that's where they want the rest of the people to watch the show. And it looks like that room was set up as a press room beforehand. Because I think I saw a sign, like the back of it said something about like a press bridge or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But now that's where people are going to watch the show.
No.
That's
Weird.
insane. That's beyond ridiculous. Like between all of us getting like tossed around between different lines, and then the people from Ubisoft having an attitude. That's what really rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm upset, I'm annoyed because I'm getting told one thing by the people that are there wearing Ubisoft shirts, and I guess whether they're volunteers or not, they're supposed to be on the up and up and stuff. But then you got this one dude in the front who I'm going to and tell him, listen, your guys just pulled me out of the line to go find one that apparently doesn't exist. And he's getting mad at me because I'm the one upset after I'm getting like thrown all over the place.
That's crazy.
It was absolutely a terrible experience. Like, this is worse. Nothing like this last year. Like,
by the way,
actually, I heard it was exactly like this last year.
No, last year when I actually got it, it was not that bad. Like, this is just like on a whole nother level of like terrible.
Obviously, it's on. They do not have a system like a lot of these other people have, where it's just like, all right, you do this, this, and this. Theirs is like nobody knows what the information is about.
Right.
It's not. Well, you get conflicting reports. It's like all over the place.
I don't think any one of. I don't think.
Like, what's the point?
I don't think any one of them had any had the proper information. Maybe they heard one thing and then somebody said something. It's really unprofessional.
Yeah, it was just at that point when you're getting rude to the people, and it wasn't just me. It was like literally like a bunch of people that were on the line that were upset, and especially a lot of foreigners too, because they're already dealing with a bunch of stuff there, but then deal with that stuff on top of that, they were really rubbed the wrong way.
Yeah, there's a reason we're talking about all this instead of the games, because Charles.
Well, I mean we saw games. Games.
I get in and I started watching the games. The first one that they showed was called For Honor, which basically seemed like a third-person chivalry. Medieval combat game, multiplayer, driven. Cool. A lot of the guys who are playing as characters, there's like some AI assistance as well as you're like sieging and castle. That looked cool. The graphics look okay. The combat was reminiscent of like Demon's Souls in its pacing.
Okay.
And that was decent. But then the next game started off with a cat riding a unicorn. So I didn't make that up.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody in the room was like, "What?"
I don't know. I have no idea what that turned out to actually be, but that's when I decided to leave. And actually, let me backtrack. There was one game shown before that. The Crew Wild Run was shown before that, which I think that's an expansion. And it looked a lot like, if you've seen the first Fast and Furious movie, there's a part called Race Wars where they drift the drag racing. They had a segment that looked like drag racing. And they're also adding motorcycles, which I think I heard a lot of people cheer.
Okay,
that popped up on the
motorcycles, man.
So that looked really cool because apparently The Crew is a decent game. I played the demo; it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And
one thing I'll say is the South Park.
They announced
everybody went crazy for that.
There's a slight caveat with that. It's being developed by Ubisoft San Francisco, not Obsidian.
Oh,
it's supposed to be. It's going to be maintained as a turn-based RPG. And Matt Stone and Trey Parker are going to help with the writing again. But it's a different development.
Well, as long as the writing is there, I think that'll be okay.
Yeah.
Same dudes.
Because it's hard to mess up that.
It's a great title, The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, butthole.
It should be The Fractured, Butthole.
Yeah.
But it's The Fractured Butthole.
Yes. I love that's brilliant.
And what's going on with Rainbow Six?
Rainbow Six Siege, which I still have to figure out a few things, but Angela Bassett's in the game, and the people lost their shit.
Yeah.
But I read up on it, because I didn't get to watch that, but I read up on some stuff, and there's a terrorist hunt mode, basically, which I think is what she was involved in.
Okay.
Where they're trying to find these guys called the White Mask or something like that. When I heard that Angela Bassett was in the game, I was like, oh, it has a campaign now. But then to find out that it's a terrorist hunt mode, I'm like, oh, so it's still multiplayer only, but they're kind of... just like the multiplayer in Star Wars Battlefront, Like, it seems like Solo's campaign, but it was just a mission with AI partners and stuff. Yeah. So, but then again, I haven't watched that video for myself, so I don't know exactly what it looks like. Now, I will say, while I was using the restroom, I decided to watch another trailer. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Did anyone else watch that one?
No, I didn't see that.
What's that all about?
Oh, snap. That game looks amazing. First off, it's open world for them. And when I heard Ghost Recon open world, I was like, we have the Division coming. Like, it's going to be the exact same thing. No, it's not. It seems like it's going to remain true to a lot of the Ghost Recon stuff, but it's more guerrilla warfare. And the way they did the trailer, this is probably the best gameplay trailer of the stuff that I've seen, period. Because they showed 3 different ways. Like, they had like a CG trailer that it was slowly transitioning through, and in between, they showed 3 ways to take on a mission. First off, they started off with the long range, because it's this guy named White Hat, or that's what his code name. They shoot him, they snipe him, some people drive off with a truck full of cocaine, right? They chase it down, run it off a cliff, and it's done. That's the long range way to do it, and then the CG trailer progresses more. Then it shows the stealthy option, which is at night, and they just slowly go in, stabbing people, silence weapons and everything, kidnap the guy, throw him in the trunk, and they've killed everyone in the building, and they leave. Then the last one is the ambush one, and it's getting closer to the end of the trailer. You see it's like a person that's bleeding. So they go in, they kill every single person in there, they take the cocaine truck, leave with it, and leave White Hat alive. And then the CG trailer is White Hat getting beat to sleep by this other guy because they believe he stole the drugs. So you see how your action
beat to sleep.
Yeah. So you see it seems like the whole game they're trying to destroy all of the drug stuff in Mexico from the inside. Yeah. So your actions influence how they react to each other. So you can create kind of like a more intense drug war between people that like.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So I was like, that is a strange direction to take Ghost Recon. Yeah. No one expected that, but that looks really, really good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the open world looks absolutely ridiculous. So y'all have to see it, but that was definitely a very impressive.
Sounds really dope. Didn't you mention that it seemed a lot like SOCOM or something like that?
Someone else said that.
Yeah, somebody said that.
But very reminiscent. You know what? It looked like SOCOM if SOCOM would have got their shit together. That's exactly what it would have been. Like I could see if somebody continued to make SOCOM and continue to get better. This is what it would have been, because to take Ghost Recon into like the drug war doesn't make sense compared to the stuff they've done before. But SOCOM going there would make perfect sense.
Yeah, that's true.
So interesting. But they're doing it. It's going to be interesting to see when they release this though, because it actually looked further along than the Division did. So
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, when you can't release those around the same time because they're very similar.
Yeah, exactly. You got to space them out.
Yeah, and it's both Tom Clancy Division, Tom Clancy Ghost Recon. You're trying to create these long-lasting franchises.
Well, they got the rest of Tom Clancy name. Now they can put it on anything. Put it on. Make Tom Clancy's Rayman.
You know what? That actually Tom Clancy's Rayman. Little parody.
They keep doing it. It's going to be Tom Clancy.
I'm surprised we didn't hear anything about a new Rayman. I expected.
Yeah, we were both talking about that in our editorials. Did they show? I'll ask you a super question. Did they show Assassin's Creed?
They did.
Was it like a big demo?
So they showed 2 trailers. One, I haven't watched them in detail yet. Well, they've shown 3 total trailers for Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Well, the first one was the main character, and they showed, I think, story stuff.
Yeah. Fry and Avery?
Right.
2 characters?
No, they didn't show Fry at all in their first one.
Oh, okay.
No one found out about that until Sony.
Okay.
So they showed the first guy, CG stuff, and then they showed the vehicle stuff that he could do.
Yeah, with the cars and stuff.
The grappling hook and the cars and stuff. Then the third trailer came with Sony. We'll get to that though.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, but it's Assassin's Creed. I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I mean, I'm gonna check out because I like the top hats and the cane swords and stuff.
Yeah,
but I didn't see it, so I can't really comment on it.
And they didn't know Beyond Good and Evil, right?
No,
Beyond Good and Evil. Man.
Hey, that would have been another.
That would have capped off the year as far as like
we
were waiting for.
Oh man.
Yeah, anything else about Ubisoft before we get to what we really want to talk about?
talk about your disappointment.
Actually, no, Charles, you left like the show.
Yo, I left. Oh,
Let me tell this part because we're there. We decided to skip Sony, right?
Not Sony.
No, I mean, it was Ubisoft. It was me, you, Garrett. Mm-hmm. You know, we decided fuck it, let's go. We're there. We get the registration. We're there for no, I didn't even get to registration. I'm on the line, and I see Charles and Dave. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yo, guys, did you guys finish Ubisoft? And you were like, I finished Ubisoft.
And I think I told you right then, last thing I saw was a cat on a unicorn, and I walked out.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right.
Cat on a unicorn.
So, yeah, we went to Sony. Once again, they, gave us all that wonderful free food and booze. We saw a bunch of our friends there.
What we didn't realize.
Me and Tony met Tim Schafer.
Yeah, we met Tim Schafer.
Awesome.
There's a funny story about that. So,
wait. Garrett, would you like to chime in now?
Yeah. Garrett's like, I'm cool.
What we didn't know.
Yeah, what happened?
Sony was massaging us and getting ready to
blow
our damn minds.
Yeah. Sony was like, "Here, you're gonna need this drink right here for a little bit."
I'm glad I drank those 2 beers right before I walked in.
Yeah, you chugged that first one, boy.
Oh man!
Because I dared you, but I wasn't serious about it. Then I see this man just chugging his fucking beer, and then he's like, "Yo, I may have to relieve myself on the line." I'm glad you didn't relieve yourself after that first announcement, boy.
What?
Yo, okay, so let me set it up for the people, right? God. Sony conference starts, lights go down, Like, all right, guys, we got a game that you've been waiting for a while. Charles already starts trembling.
First off, when you say that at a Sony conference, we're like, well,
what?
Let's unload this. Let's unload this list of games. Take your pick. We've got Agent, we've got Last Guardian, we have a ton of games. But go ahead.
Okay, we got this game you guys have been waiting for a while. It has a really captivating story by a guy you all love. Who makes these artistic games.
They said friendship was the key.
The friendship, yeah. When they said that, Charles,
the whole roof blew up.
The first thing that happened is we see the screen with the light shining down, and Charles is in denial. He says, "Oh, that's Kingdom Hearts."
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
There was a moment, a pause, where no one in that room was breathing. Then you see the feather fall down.
When you saw the feather, that was it. That was it.
Everybody screamed. Everybody in that room screamed. It was insane.
Oh man, I didn't even think about how brilliant the structure for that trailer was.
It really was.
They knew.
Like, we got you now.
Don't even press play yet. Just drop the lights out. We're gonna wait. No one's breathing. All right.
Let's play. It was so good.
Last Guardian.
Opener.
Is the thing.
It's here.
That is how they open their show. The gameplay.
It was a good.
It was
gameplay.
It definitely felt like the child of both.
Shadow of the Colossus.
And Shadow of the Colossus.
Because you have a small kid that's out there on his own, like Eco.
Yeah,
and then you have the big beast like Shadow of the Colossus. Mm-hmm. You had the friendship like both of the games.
Yeah.
So
and you lead him along.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, their relationship is very much like the one in Eco as well.
Yeah.
They have to help each other.
Even Shadow with the horse.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
And something that stood out to me was the sound design. The noise the creatures were making also made me miss my dog a whole lot.
Oh man! Shout out to Charles' dog.
Yeah, he made me miss my dog. But the sounds the creature was making, the language that the kid was just spouting out.
Yeah, he was calling that thing by a name too.
It was Hero or something like that.
Yeah, and then the whole thing that scared the creature too.
That got me. I'm like, whoa,
that was different.
This thing is you hear it scared, and then the camera pans and you see his ears are down. That thing was clearly frightening.
That kind of stuff, oh my goodness.
Yeah, whatever symbol was on that.
It was a symbol.
Yeah,
because the kid needed to move that out of the way.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the sound of it coming from that thing too.
No, the sound was coming from the beast.
Yeah, he was scared.
Whatever that was, whatever in the context of the story that is, he was freaking out.
One thing I noticed about it was like a windmill. And there were these little tapestry points where it looked like you could grab onto it to spin it.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was interesting that there was kind of a question of what the gameplay elements could be like.
And why, where did he come from? Why is he scared?
Yeah.
That's what makes the Eco games so good.
You've seen shots of him stabbed up.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it maybe have something to do with whatever culture is attacking him more.
It's really a question of who's protecting who.
And then there's also this is a small thing, his design looked a little different too, and I'm wondering
his like spikes, his little horns.
The horns, they were even.
Yeah, the spike that was going, and I'm like, was it a gameplay design change, or are we going to see different periods with him? Is he going to grow throughout the game? Because I felt like he didn't have as much hair.
Yeah, he looked smaller.
He looked smaller, and I'm like, this may be early in the game, and then
maybe he grows over time.
Yeah.
True. I think it'll be really interesting to see what the Team Eco fans glean from that gameplay, because those are some of the most hardcore, dedicated fans in the world.
Yeah.
They analyze and break down shit like no other, and so I mean, it's going to be cool because all the games are related.
Yeah, they are.
They're all connected, so. It's
in weird sorts of ways, like some of the lore is very close.
Yeah,
right.
Like the kid with the horns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and the kid with the horns from the Shadow of the Colossus.
Right.
So
one thing people were talking about, like, oh yeah, this still looks like a PS3 game, but I'm like, did you see the way the feathers move?
The animation and stuff.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Exactly.
And that lighting too.
The thing is, here's the other thing. I mean, they did show the PlayStation 3 graphics, and it did have all those feathers. But I think at the same time, that is also was probably a concept video.
Yeah,
and you can run.
That was a goal.
You can obviously run. When they say gameplay trailers or something like gameplay, or actual game footage. The thing is, a lot of times it's not actual. It's like the peak moment of gameplay. There's no AI running. There's none of this stuff. It's just animation and a really pretty image.
Exactly.
So you can have a higher polygon count.
Yeah, and then on that note, like even Shadow of the Colossus was considered to be graphically quite impressive on that console. So I'm like, for them that do the alpha thing with the old ones, and then we actually see it in action, and they can reach it now, because they probably realized they couldn't reach that on the PS3 before.
I definitely think that part of the reason why they did it is because they didn't want another situation like Shadow where
because people were like, why isn't this on PS3?
Why isn't this on PS3?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what people have done with tech demos, like Quantic Dream's Kara tech demo, that was on PS3. Technically, but
you can't do a whole game like that on PS3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the Alfred Molina head. It's like, you made him look exactly like Dr. Octopus, but it's just his head.
It's just
nothing
his head.
See,
the thing is, I think that's the thing that people need to understand. It's like, okay, yes, you can have these really amazing looking graphics, but if your system is if that sequence is that's all you're playing, you're not playing the rest of the part of it where, it's just a bunch of AI, all this underside stuff, physics stuff, all this stuff running in the background. It can definitely take a toll on the actual visuals.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like the first big bomb. Like people were like, Sony already won E3 just based off of that.
What I'll say though, I think that the only way that it could have been better is if they had flipped it. Open with Uncharted 4, close with Last Guardian.
Yeah.
No. Open, yes. I feel like they should have taken the second half of the show and it should have been the first half of the show. I do agree on that note. But close with Final Fantasy fucking 7.
Oh,
let's talk about that.
One thing I gotta say,
they were way too close together.
One thing
I still hadn't recovered from Last Guardian.
By the way, Sony's conference, whenever they would drop a bomb, they didn't give you time to process it because you were like, "What the fuck just happened?" Right?
I did notice, like even in the small things, they transitioned quickly with everything. So it was like they'd come out there, they drop the trailer, they have the person, they'll drop the next person's name in the montage at the end of the next video, they go into it, and then that person announces the next one. As opposed to bringing like somebody else on stage.
You don't even have time to listen to what the guy says. And so I'm like, oh shit, okay, what game is this now? Like, oh, is this Final Fantasy now?
So check this out. Number one, okay, I have to admit that I was wrong because
I noticed it was a lot louder by the way.
All this stuff, like, because of what happened at the previous event that Square Enix was at, where they had Final Fantasy VII show up on the PC.
Yeah, you mean when they trolled everyone?
They trolled the PlayStation experience, okay? Because everybody
trolled Charles.
Everybody got trolled, and I initially interpreted that, and a lot of other people did too, that was their sim is like, listen, we're not making this game again. Like, clearly the team wants to do their own stuff. They're working on Final Fantasy 15, they're working on Kingdom Hearts 3, etc. So that's what I interpret that. Now, when the rumors and stuff like right before E3 started showing up and they started saying like, remake or something related to Final Fantasy 7, I figured it was going to be a compilation thing where it's like Crisis Core or like Dirge of Cerberus or like a spin-off sequel, like Advent Children, anything like that. When we saw that logo pop up and it started, they had the voiceover and everything, and we saw Cloud's Buster Sword, Everybody in the room.
Before you saw the buzzer,
I had to question everything I thought about it before because that was insane. None of us ever thought that was actually going to happen anytime soon.
See, and even then, I was still thinking, okay, this is a spin-off.
Yeah.
This is Advent Children.
And then when they said remake.
Yeah, that was
we were
moment.
done. Like that was it. We were good.
Yeah.
I like the way they set up because they showed that other Final Fantasy game right before that new one.
Yeah, which is cool.
It's like it's getting us in that Final Fantasy kind of movie. It's like, oh yeah, guys, you saw that? That was cool, right?
So we got you.
We got you right now. We got you right now.
They're probably like that right there is actually probably what disarmed the entire audience.
Yeah.
What? There's going to be some Final Fantasy related, and then they draw World of Final Fantasy. It was like, oh, that's cool.
When I first heard,
and then it's like, yo, hold up. We got you.
When I first heard
it's Soul Cloud in that game too. So
when I first heard him say that, I thought they were going to talk about Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Originally, that's what everyone said. And the thing is, Dissidia, exactly. Because I thought they were going to announce Dissidia for PlayStation 4, the Japanese arcade.
Yeah, it's happening. That was the second bomb.
This is real. Like, it's insane. And plus, you look at it, that new updated logo for it, the little, was it the little moon logo and stuff?
Well, like I said before, it's the same thing that's behind the Final Fantasy logo.
Yeah, exactly.
It just looked cool to see that, though. It's like those little things like that. It just, again, to keep you getting
it makes it more concrete in your mind.
Yeah. Stuff like that. And what I will say, that game's not coming out anytime soon.
I'm going to say one thing, though. Being that, we're doing next generation consoles, you could quite possibly use a lot of those CG models that were made for Advent Children.
Yes.
Rework.
Yes.
That's
you probably could just, in other words, you could take
take
a lot of that. You could take a lot of the work out of it. You probably, of course, you have to redesign Barrett's hair. Maybe
you have to redesign the world.
Dude, the Shinra soldiers. Did you catch that? Really briefly, the Shinra soldiers?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like, what?
Well, the thing is, they didn't say if that was actual gameplay, though.
No, that's clearly not.
It's obvious that they called up their trailer company. The trailer part of that does those amazing trailers, and they're like, "All right, make us something cool."
And I'm going to say right now, holiday 2017 is when it's coming out.
Yeah,
because the game originally came out in '97, so that's the 20th anniversary.
Good point.
And you know something? I believe that because next year I feel it's going to be Final Fantasy 15, and I think the following year after that could be both that and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
There you go.
Come out in the first half, and then
Final Fantasy 7 in the second half. There you go.
Question real quick before we move on: do y'all think that they're going to remain turn-based?
Yes.
I
think so.
Here's what I think. I think it's still going to be the same battle system, same story, and all that stuff. Maybe some extra stuff for the story, like extra goodies here and there to discover. But I think that the gameplay, the battle system, one of the biggest criticisms about Final Fantasy VII is that it was dragged on. It was slow, especially in the tougher battles. Would take sometimes about an hour plus.
So they're probably doing
I think it's going to make it more faster.
I don't think they'll go full active like 13. I think they'll go more like 10.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to go like that. I think they're still going to keep that same system, but it's going to appear faster.
Yeah, I mean that's all they need to do.
Yeah, that's all they really need to do, and then everybody will be perfectly happy. I think right now everybody on their minds is that they want them to be purists. But in my honest opinion, I want them to have the basics for what's there, but give me more.
Do what you do.
Connected.
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, exactly. We're all going to get it.
I have a wild theory.
So,
what if you could switch between this and the PC version?
No. Hell no.
Maybe that's the reason why. It's like, hey, you want to play with it? You want to play the game with the updated graphics, or you want it with the original graphics?
That would be kind of cool.
So,
but there's some things that I think are going to change. That even camera angles.
It's not.
Yeah.
The problem with it's not just like Halo where it's just graphics. It's going to be
graphics.
It's going to be voiceovers. It's going to be CG.
I don't think they're going to go full 3D with it.
You don't think so?
No,
you think the backgrounds will still be 2D,
I think
right?
they might just be 2D backgrounds. It's just saying remake. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go like full like Final Fantasy.
I think they would. You want to know why? Because they have a lot of those locations and stuff modeled out in Crisis Core.
Crisis Core is a little old, so I mean, you probably the best thing you would go to is probably the Advent Children movie.
Yeah.
You probably go with that, and you see how many things.
Or Dirge of Cerberus. There's another one too.
I mean, Cloud's did Dissidia too, so they've done some work on him.
That's true.
The character model.
But like I said,
again, with Dissidia is another situation where it's kind of a lower res model that you wouldn't put inside.
Well, the new one,
kind of
the new.
He's over the second one now.
The third one. The arcade one. The new Dissidia that they teased already.
But I mean, regardless, if they do it that way, which I can imagine that too, I can see it happening. I'm fine with that. But I think that they will integrate a little bit more third person, like exploration and something. They may have like a good way to transition between both.
I know, yeah.
And the thing is also the other question that happens is like, okay, they did say that they were going to, port the PC version of the game to everything. Is that still happening now?
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine that would.
I thought that already happened.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, they'd probably be smart to do it like you said, because if they do it like third person, whatever, then what happens when you go to the world map?
Yeah.
Are you going to render everything? Is it going to be like open world?
Yeah,
it's a completely different game at that point.
Yeah, but think of it this way. Type 0 is, I think, the perfect way to go about that. Because the way that they do it, they still have your full model and stuff. Granted, you're kind of like scaled down.
Yeah.
You have the open world that looks almost exactly like how the Final Fantasy VII map would be.
But then when you go to specific maps, then it changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like...
It'd actually be kind of funny if like everything inside the worlds was completely like new and updated, but when you go to the world map, it's the old... I appreciate that.
But yo, that's exciting. This is exciting time to be a gamer because the things that we thought were never going to happen are finally freaking happening. Which is the next one.
Yeah.
Now we got to go to part 3.
Yeah, let's go to the next
third
one.
bomb.
The third bomb.
Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 3 is happening, people. Look at Charles, right? He's like fucked up.
And I asked after the show. I was like, "Yo, Charles, which one of you were screaming louder, you or hip hop?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, everybody was screaming.
Everybody went crazy when they heard that Shenmue music.
Yeah.
That was it.
And here's the thing, because it's a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
so
talking about
at the time that we're recording this now, they've reached already past $2 million, which I bet you we check again. It's probably
Dave will check for sure. We had a very interesting conversation about this before we hit record because you got to remember their goal is $2 million, right?
Yep.
That's only if we're gonna go by let's go with Bloodstain as an example.
5.5.
Their goal was $500,000. That was only 10%. That $2 million is not the whole budget of this, obviously. And my theory is, since this was shown by Sony at Sony's thing, Sony's going to foot the bill for the rest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At this
we had another theory about that.
At this point, it hasn't reached its goal yet, but it's getting close to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's without question.
That's after 4 or 5 hours.
By the time, probably when you guys hear this, it'll probably
yeah. And then also I did
way over.
It did break the record for fastest to 1 million for a game.
Oh,
yeah. There's only
they already did it now within an hour.
There's only one thing that beat it was the Pebble Time Watch. Beat it to 1 million.
Oh, okay.
But that was it.
But I mean for video games,
number one.
Number 1.
Out.
This is going to beat out Bloodstain.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Overtime, I think you can do like 8 million. I don't think that's very strange to imagine.
I went as far as 10.
Here's the thing: we were all making predictions. I said 7. You said 10. You're saying 8.
8.
David, what do you say? By the time it's done, how much do you think Shenmue 3 is going to make in this Kickstarter?
7.5.
7.5. Manny?
I'm going to go with that.
7.5.
Gary? Like 7,000 do it like cash.
How much do you think Shenmue 3 is going to make at the end of its Kickstarter?
I'm going 12.
12?
Wow.
Oh, he's going big.
My man.
Now, one of the things I asked about this before is, okay, Shenmue, Sega lost the rights to Shenmue. They just never renewed it anymore, and another company bought it. The question is, in this Kickstarter, they don't mention any other companies, and they even made it a point on the stage to say a game that was created by its creator and made by its creator. Now, how did Yu Suzuki get the rights back? Oh,
good point.
Yeah.
That was why, like you said, Sony fit the bill.
Yeah.
After the fact, we were thinking that Sony paid for because
pay for the rights.
If you think about it, why would this be exclusive? Like it basic sense, like why would this be exclusive? They do a Kickstarter, it can be on anything. Stretch goal, it can go somewhere else.
Even on the Sony platform.
Right. But what if Sony paid for the rights so they get it? Yeah. And they were like, all right, we got you the rights. Get this Kickstarter going. People gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
Bam. Just make it exclusive.
But even if the Kickstarter makes like we talked about 18 million, if it keeps going the way it was going, it's still going to cost more money than that.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's going to cost a lot. I don't know if it's going to.
Remember how much the original Shenmue games cost? Those are the most expensive games in history.
But look at what they were doing at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were literally creating something that didn't exist.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if you guys have ever seen Yu Suzuki's GDC talk about this game, about all the games, just hearing how much things he was just creating from scratch, which are now the norm of
I guess if that stuff's ubiquitous and it doesn't matter. It's like you don't need to travel to another country. It's like look it up on the internet, you know?
It's arguable that they started that.
Yeah, that's true. Started one of the first open world games.
Yeah,
that
there
is
would be
true.
no Yakuza. There probably wouldn't be a GTA like we got now.
Yeah,
and then the crazy part is, even though it started then, it's the staple now. None of them reached the minute detail that the Shenmue games had at that time, because it's like they just didn't have the
quick time events.
It may not be an open world, but as far as giving characters with schedules and daily lives, Majora's Mask did that shit too.
You could point that out. You could literally follow somebody in Shenmue to their house. You could wait out their house. And so you could see them go to the store. They always had a schedule that they went to. And the weekends were also different.
They're very different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you bring this up because that's what we're talking about. Like, I feel that if this is going to be done right, people need to be re-educated or just educated in general about Shenmue. And one of the stretch goals is they're going to do a documentary. And I think that's great.
It's not a documentary. It's actually just a story. It's the story.
Yeah,
they did it when Shenmue 2 was brought to Xbox. They had a disc telling the story. But we also talked, the biggest stretch goal is at $4 million for, what was it? Well, do you know what it was?
What was it?
Well, whatever it was, a lot of the stuff was localization.
Extra mini games is what it was, I think.
It was the village was larger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were making the village larger, and extra mini games are part of it.
Yeah.
But we were saying that one of the stretch goals, because it's going to get
it's going to be over.
One of them should be remasters of the first and second game.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes. We do need that.
For PlayStation consoles, hell yeah.
Here's the one thing I would say would be very difficult about it is the fact that there's so many Sega and also different licenses throughout the game. Like there's Coca-Cola, there's all kinds of other things that he has in the game. Going to those little toy machines in that game, you pick up Virtua Fighter and Sonic toys.
Yeah. That's very true.
You'd have to redesign all the toys. A lot of the products on the walls, inside the little supermarkets were also real Japanese products.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why that game cost a lot of money.
That was how they funded it. I mean,
so that may be one of the reasons why they're not even mentioning it. They know how ridiculous it would be. Those will probably need their own damn Kickstarter.
Yeah. Here's the thing I'm thinking though. This game looks like it's going to take place in some kind of isolated village. Maybe you won't have a lot of that sort of stuff.
Well, in the new game, you don't have to worry about that.
It is the conclusion of the game, and it's where Ryo's journey was leading.
Yeah, but you say that's the end because remember it was supposed to be 16 chapters, and this was only the third one.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, we also don't know how much of this game that Yu Suzuki actually did.
Yeah. By the way, I need to stop and just say this because it needs to be said. We're here on a podcast during E3, and we're talking about Shenmue 3. After talking about Final Fantasy 7, after talking about the last one, I just need people to understand that. This
is all happening
this night. Yesterday, Fallout
4. And Doom 4.
Tomorrow, we still have Nintendo Square
and Square. Which you're going to see Kingdom Hearts and probably Star Wars.
If they announce Half-Life 3, forget it. But
this is all right now almost the best E3 though.
Yeah, this is the best that I've seen.
Like seriously,
I just want people at home to fully understand the weight of this.
I would love to look back at previous E3s to see if anything can measure up to this level of magnitude.
Is Super 64 coming out? Maybe
that's still just one game though.
Yeah, but I mean that was pretty.
No, but this is all the games that people.
As far as hyped up, after Final Fantasy 7, I don't know.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think so.
I feel like a game that people
Half-Life 2, maybe?
like a Mario, people are expecting something like that. Mm-hmm. So there's kind of that built-in anticipation. But with this, these are things that people had just decided weren't going to happen.
Yeah,
and then
all three happened.
Yeah, all
the same
four.
year.
Yeah.
The same conference.
The same conference.
The same conference. Within the span of half an hour. It was ridiculous.
A lot of people, was it the one thing you read? Was somebody said that was it was almost like somebody wrote it.
Yeah, that was someone from Giant Bomb said it was like a Sony E3 fan fiction.
Here's the crazy thing. During the conference, as all those were happening, I kept thinking to myself, damn, and they're not done yet.
Yeah.
That's what
everyone was saying that. They get all this, and they still haven't shown Uncharted 4.
We forgot that Uncharted and Star Wars existed.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and I was gonna say, I mean, like somebody said, "Oh man, they haven't shown Uncharted." I'm like, they wouldn't show. They obviously are going to show Uncharted. They wouldn't have printed a giant billboard.
Exactly.
I don't know about you guys, but I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because, every Sony conference has that one moment where they fuck things up. When they start showing Project Morpheus, I'm like, here we go. They're going to drop. No. They literally said, like, yo, here's Project Morpheus. If you want to play it, that's cool. Here's a cool game we got developed for it. Let's move on.
No. Not only that, they were like, Morpheus, game. Check it out before. PlayStation View. Real cool. Start here. Yeah. Check it out whenever. Oh. And they were done.
What didn't they talk about? Okay.
Vita.
No,
actually,
I'm going to jump back a little bit to Microsoft. We all said the same thing after that. We're like, yo, the backwards compatibility just killed PlayStation Now.
Oh, it's dead.
PlayStation Now is done. And then just move forward with Sony. What didn't they mention? They didn't mention
PlayStation Now.
Because they're like, they went back to the drawing board like, just erase that shit.
It's like, look at what they had. Like, imagine the Microsoft conference is happening.
Yeah.
You're a Sony rep and you know what you have on that list.
Yeah.
You just look.
You know what they did?
PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now.
Here's my theory. You know what they did when they realized they couldn't show PlayStation Now?
Yeah.
They were like, hey, how hard would it be to fake controller issues for Uncharted? That's really easy.
That was the little bit, yeah.
There you go.
And kudos on the recovery from Naughty Dog with that.
I love that they turned that into like a good thing for them, because when you actually saw Drake moving, everybody's like, yeah. The joke I made was like, man, the DualShock 4 has the shittiest battery life. It just ran out.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, you can imagine, yo, just switch the video. Just switch the video.
Let me ask you this, because they were very quick about it. Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5
showed 2 new characters.
By the way, we couldn't get excited because they got leaked already.
Yeah, Birdie and Cammy. Very quick.
And I agree with you.
Which we saw Ono on the way out. I said, hello.
Yeah, I saw Ono, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
He went, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Congratulations. He said, thank you. We have fun after Sony conference stuff.
I met you, Suzuki.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You were done, bro. You were like,
I first met him because I shook his hand. I knew it was like, oh man, thank you very much.
He's like, I was not paying attention.
He was on his phone, so I kind of gave, you don't give somebody the left hand, but he was talking on his phone. So I'm like, I just wanted to shake his hand and say, thank you very much. I'm like, yo man, he's like, he was literally talking before. Charles was just talking about it. I was like, yo man, if I ever see you, Suzuki, I'm
Manny had to interrupt me whenever I was saying the sentence, I cannot think of what would make this better.
Yeah.
And then
literally,
I'm like, yo man, you just missed Yu Suzuki walking right past you. He's like, where is he?
His face afterwards, he was like,
I'm like, he's right there. He's like right there. He's the guy in the black blazer right there. He's like, all right.
Get out of my way.
Hey man, I got my picture.
Which also you got a little selfie with him and everything. And one thing also, he also shook the hand of the character designer.
Yeah, I think both of them. I was like, thank you.
Thank you for existing.
Well, we didn't know this at the time because I also didn't recognize them. Because I don't know. But then when I was looking at the Kickstarter, not long after, I was like, oh, you just shook the hand of the character designer.
Yeah, you learned about it.
Literally dressed the same way. He had a white, one of those like golf hats on.
Yeah.
So
So that was cool, and we also got to meet Rue.
We got to meet Rue
from the guy who made the Order 18. I was like, thank you for the Order 18.
Yeah, I saw him. He pointed that out.
I was like, thank you.
Yeah, I went to him first, and then you got him after. So, but I still have a lot of respect for Ready at Dawn. I mean, those guys.
Yeah, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
They created a game that's going to continue forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it sold well.
Regardless
and everything. It was a good start. A lot of first IPs have their issues.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're gonna Assassin's Creed. Remember the first one?
Look at
God of War.
Yeah,
the first
God of War. The first God of War is the best one.
There was nothing wrong with the first God of War.
First God of War is the best one still.
Second. First, Uncharted. Now that
First Uncharted was alright. It was alright. It was alright. But then we got two. It's like, oh shit, everything just changed right now. Speaking about Uncharted, we got to see that, after a little kerfuffle. It looked nice.
This is now the fifth Uncharted game, counting Golden
Yes, that's right.
And I'm still not tired of Drake and Sully just
talking. They're gold. They're gold on screen. Like that was the best. As soon as those two together, it's an Uncharted game.
I didn't even think about that, but like just when they were in the car, and the banner between them, just every time.
Or even when they were fighting, and like when they were just like dealing with all the guys, like just shooting at them. It was so much fun.
Like it's hard to watch that and not just smile.
It's fantastic.
Or giggle
the whole time.
It's really good.
It's gonna be interesting to hear him and his brother talk though. Like I want.
It's gonna be funny when all three of those.
It's gonna be great.
Now, see, speaking of Uncharted, what I'm interested in is finding out who Drake really is.
Yeah.
Because Uncharted, spoiler, I guess. Uncharted 3 ended on a cliffhanger. You find out Drake isn't really Nathan Drake.
That's not his name, yeah.
So
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it's called The Thieves' End. So
hearing rumors about an actual Thief's End.
But my glaring admission comes into play now.
Uh-oh.
I was surprised there was no Gran Turismo. Not even.
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
I don't even think I even really care.
I think the one thing about Gran Turismo is they're going to wait to do that.
Yeah, they're pretty notorious for showing that way before they should. So
like
maybe it's better.
The previous Gran Turismo was at no point, and they announced that shit.
Yeah, that's true. The last one,
It seems like one of the themes, at least with Microsoft and with Sony, is that the games that they're doing aren't really that far off. They're like early next year.
They're getting a lot better with
year.
That's good.
This year at some point.
You don't need another Last Guardian.
We're forgetting one.
What's up?
Horizon.
Horizon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Horizon was nasty.
Horizon looks fucking
nice. To be completely honest,
that was
Horizon would have been a show stealer if it weren't for all
the other stuff.
Yes.
Because that's by Guerrilla, by the way. If you know
Guerrilla.
That's
right. Killzone.
I just want to say, it was a pretty short gameplay video. It wasn't that long, but they were able to not only sell you on the game itself, but the world, the characters, the set, everything. I have a vision in my head now of what that game's going to be like.
Yeah.
And usually that's hard to communicate.
Yeah, they didn't do a cheap thing by showing us Horizon. They could have shown us that CG part at the beginning.
Yeah, and then they go straight into gameplay.
Yeah, when I
was like, hold on.
How often do you see a console exclusive world premiere and gameplay at the same time?
Yeah, you don't see that.
Awesome.
Don't see that.
That's
Uncharted didn't even do it.
Let's be real,
It was definitely like, okay.
So you could definitely
and I know all those Guerrilla guys in there were like,
yeah, we got it. Look at that motherfucker right there in the fifth row. We got him.
literally, as soon as it stopped at some point, and then you saw the little HUD come up, everyone went, oh!
Yeah, exactly. And you can kind of tell they took notes, too, from just, Naughty Dog in general.
Yeah.
Because it's a very different game, but just a little, witty remarks the character is making.
Yeah.
She seems like the kind of character I'm not going to get tired of.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to play it just to see what she says.
She kind of sounded like Ellie to me, but I could be wrong.
He said it sounded like female.
You said it sounded like Jennifer Hale.
I think either one. I think it's more likely that it's Ellie.
Yeah, she's already worked with Sony.
That would be pretty bad. Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, it might be her.
Yeah, that shit was nice, man. I like how she's hunting monsters, but the monsters are robots.
Yeah, because
it was awesome.
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic, kind of archaic.
Has anyone ever read Robogenesis?
I've heard of it.
No.
I've read it.
Or Robopocalypse, I'm sorry.
Robopocalypse?
No.
Not heard of it.
Anyone listening, if you ever read it, they look very similar to the robots in that book.
It could be inspired by it.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I was very surprised to
Horizon,
see this
man.
game from Guerrilla. Not saying that as an insult, but I was expecting a first person something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what, I was too.
Because they're known for Killzone. They don't already
Here's the one thing, though. I mean, they have proven, even though Killzone was kind of, just almost like a tech demo in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It did allow them to create that very robust engine.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing about the Killzone engine. It looks nice.
If you looked at a lot of the Killzone stuff, like the lush environments and all that stuff, you saw the beginnings, all of that.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, the game was great. We know we should mention the Call of Duty thing because now they flipped it. It is a big deal. Like some people try to play it off. Like, no, think about it.
No, they're getting it first.
They're getting all the DLC first, right? Which is what Microsoft traditionally had. And we know how Call of Duty fans are. They will buy the system that has their DLC first. Yeah. That's a big win for Sony right there. Huge win.
And to kind of finish out on that, was there any other games y'all wanted to focus on?
Well, the only other thing is that they had the Battlefront demo right around.
Yeah, Battlefront, but
and Disney Infinity 3.0, which is more Star Wars.
What I want to say about that? There's a fun little thing about that.
Yeah.
That game is developed by the guys at Devil May Cry.
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory. Yeah, because I've been kind of staying, just kind of watching their site for a little bit because they're working on that other game, the medieval.
I'm forgetting
Hellblade.
Yeah.
That's another admission too, but I'm not mad though because that's overkill.
That's like, come on, my heart can't take it.
They're showing, they do a lot of developer diaries on Hellblade, and I just, for some reason, it just went onto their site, and I was like, wait, Disney Infinity Star Wars?
That's interesting.
One thing I want to say about Infinity, though, the guy that presented that, he stole the show.
I like that. A lot of fun.
Man, he is the biggest Disney fan in the world. Like, he was so excited.
Exclusive.
Yeah. PlayStation. And we're getting bumped.
Man, I like Rivers like, hey! Disney Infinity.
Another game.
Actually, I wanted to go down and slap the shit out of that guy. He annoyed the fuck out of me. It's like, dude, really tone it. Hey, you tone it down?
No, he wants you to get inside with
Another game we haven't talked about yet, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky was gorgeous.
Yeah, that was good.
He zoomed out and kept zooming out and kept zooming out.
It's like, yo, man, you see all them stars? Wow. You can go there. That's crazy.
And each star is a whole solar system.
Yeah.
Like with planet-sized planets.
Yeah, come on, man. Planet-sized planets.
I wonder if that was a shot at another game. Possibly.
Destructible environment supposedly, like fully.
Surprised the crap out of me.
Resources.
Man.
All kinds of stuff.
Cool enemies.
How big is this game going to be now?
I think it's going to be massive.
You heard what he said. He said a lot of these places are going to be explored and a lot aren't going to be. And I believe that.
I remember there was a thing that came out that if you took all the planets that were in like all the different solar systems, it'd take like 1,000-something years to explore them all. It's really insane, like how big the size of that is.
Like they've done the math, and he literally said like a lot of these places you're not going to see. Most of them you won't see, and a lot of them no one will.
Yeah.
Like it's just
there
isn't enough time in the world for everyone to explore everything in the game.
That's incredible.
That is scoped to like the nth degree because if you think about it, that's really crazy. Yeah,
4 people made this.
I don't know what their algorithm is to create those planets, but
I definitely think it's there is a lot of similarities between the things that you've seen. Like you see animals.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I definitely think that the formula for creating rocks and creating water. A lot of that is already set.
It's all about finding that sweet spot, though. Of like it's familiar but different enough.
I don't think you're going to see anything too drastically different.
Yeah, just different iterations of the same thing.
You're going to see different iterations.
But when you throw other players into the mix, everything is different.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it makes anything possible.
Because also I could go and like damage a planet pretty good bit.
Right.
One of y'all found it.
I noticed that if you damage a planet, so I guess with every planet, that sets up a story right there. If you think about it,
and that whole fight to the center of the galaxy that gives you a purpose.
That's true.
That's the thing. I didn't know that was the purpose of it.
That is the purpose.
And they've been completely tight-lipped on what's there. Like I've read covered stories about the game, and no one they're not saying anything about it.
Yeah, just keeping the story or whatever.
Don't say it.
Quiet.
Yeah.
But can we kind of get into like the final words?
Yeah, let's get the final words. We're pretty much done here. So far I think this may be the best E3. I know it's definitely been the best E3.
It's been the best E3 I've been to and watched.
Charles, would you agree that this is the best E3 you've ever been to?
Well, absolutely.
I think the better question is, are you happy that this is the first E3 you came to?
Yes and no, actually.
Okay.
Because I am completely spoiled now.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Nothing will ever reach this point.
Nothing will ever reach this point.
Other than gameplay for all of us.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Because we'll get the year that Final Fantasy VII gameplay happens.
Yeah.
We'll get the year that Shenmue happens. It's not going to all happen at the same time.
It's not.
Like what we just said.
These 3 things will never coincide again.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the planets aligning, you know?
Yeah, no, it really is. And it's not done yet. We have a whole...
And this is day zero, basically.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like we still don't know what Nintendo's going to
Square
drop.
PC game,
man. That was another thing. Somebody said, we got all this, and we haven't even seen what Nintendo Square PC is on yet.
This is
just
more
more
E3 for the history books, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely want to throw this out there. PlayStation, like we made jokes and stuff about PlayStation utilizing third-party partnerships. And
they did it,
man. Because last year they did Destiny. They did Destiny into the damn ground, right? So this year, not only do they have Destiny, they've got Call of Duty, they've got Batman, which that surprised the hell out of me because they've got exclusive, not because it didn't say time.
Yeah, it's that exclusive
PlayStation 4 Scarecrow missions that are nothing like the regular game.
They did that with the other games though. Before I remember they had the Joker missions in Arkham Asylum. They had some other stuff for Arkham City.
Yeah, but they didn't change the perspective like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't like in everybody's faces though.
No, this was like first person though. Like,
true.
I was like,
it was like cool. They had to create a new engine, like
it's
every game.
I mean, that's probably still Unreal Engine 4, right?
No, just not necessarily the complete like graphical.
Yeah, I mean,
just
it's like
the setup of the game.
Setup, they've done the first person thing before, and
with the multiplayer.
Like there was there was that Scarecrow thing from Arkham City,
and
then there's also whenever you would go into that one room with the Joker's like statues, and they had the TVs for heads.
Oh, okay.
The original Arkham game.
Oh, true.
That's right.
By the way, and the other one, Star Wars. That's the other.
Star Wars. They're utilizing all of those.
That's the one.
And when do all those games come out, guys? They come out this year. So
when does Street Fighter come out?
Street Fighter
comes out
spring.
Yeah, spring of next year. So
they've got those, and they have like Until Dawn and stuff to tide them over this year.
Which some people don't like Until Dawn.
Like Gary.
Even that quick clip that they showed, I was like, that's creepy as shit.
Well, did you guys see that? Like they have like a 15-minute demo of Until Dawn. That's online. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's with the girl. It's like the beginning of the story.
So that whole sequence that we saw.
It's literally that sequence where she's like running around in the towel and all that stuff.
That game scary.
Like I'm going to be getting that game very probably launch week. Like I love horror movies. I love Scream is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love Saw. So I mean, this looks like
games like that Heavy Rain. Like it reminds me of that in a way.
I mean, Heavy Rain and all those games. Like this looks like a great game to me.
Yeah, some of the gameplay stuff they show where you use the controller to light things up, and like some of the events where you have to do something, you have to hold something and not shake the controller, because if you do, the guy will see you or something.
Oh wow! Oh shit! I forgot. Media Molecule. Almost forgot.
That was the thing.
That looked insane. It looked like stop motion.
Dreams.
And they knew when they were going to reveal it that people were going to be like, "What?" Because he was like, "I hope this creates some questions."
I like the way he opened it. He was
very chill about it.
He was like, "When this is done, you're going to be scratching your head. You're not going to know what this is, and that's what we want."
Yeah, because they've been developing it for 4 years, and they were like, every person they showed it to had that reaction.
Here's the thing: we've seen it before.
Yeah,
the demo.
The demo they did.
The demo was
controllers.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
That is true. But I love what Media Molecule does. I love
Tearaway was a great game.
Tearaway was great. I love the Little Big Planet, the idea of it.
Like I like to see what people create, but I can't do that stuff.
That's why when I play Little Big Planet, I didn't create anything.
Yeah,
I just enjoyed people were remaking Final Fantasy levels.
I
was playing all of that stuff.
I do in my book over there. I actually do have one of my Little Big Planet
levels.
Yeah, I never finished it because it was really ambitious. It was like a whodunit idea, where essentially you work your way through sewers and stuff to get this one of the weapons in the game. So something like that.
I think the easiest level, because I wanted that trophy. Like I just made a straight road to the end. I made a cheesy car, right, with a rocket, and it's like.
Oh, I actually did that too. I got this.
I've never gotten that trophy because my idea would be too ambitious. and then when because it got to the point where they actually put water in it, and I was like, all right, man, the sewer park can have all this awesome water, and it's
I started taking a stuff for the water stuff. This is pretty cool, but I'm really curious to see what this is going to be, because I told Manny it reminded me of Project Spark, but that's what a lot of people saying on Project Spark is like,
What can you make with this? Can you make it looked like at this point in time it just looked like cinematics that you're
I think that is an option.
Kind of like a source.
I think because he mentioned it briefly. He said you can make songs and stuff. You can make songs. I think you can make like just scripted scenes that aren't.
He made sure to use the word game a couple times.
Yeah,
so I think there's going to be some degree of interactivity.
When it zoomed out and showed all those different things, a lot of them looked like cinematics and stuff, but a couple looked like you were controlling like little vehicles. To do things.
Yeah, there was some kind of battles going on too and stuff.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that was very difficult about Little Big Planet is that once you started getting really into the nitty gritty of creating the objects and things that had different programming in them, then it became like, oh, this is like, I can't wrap my head around.
If you're going to be that ambitious, why don't you just make it in like just open up Unity and make something?
Yeah, basically. Final thought for me with Sony is like, we know they don't have a lot for the fall. They do have good games and stuff, but they're not going to be like crazy system sellers. So they need to show people, hey, we got some good shit coming, because they know they're not going to win the holiday. It's not going to happen. So it's like, hey guys, next year, 2016 is going to be nuts for us. You want to have a PlayStation.
That's the one thing about, like that's why they're not doing like Gamescom or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not doing that because it's just they don't have anything to show off. I'm guessing they blew their load at this E3.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they did a good job of hyping people up. People are like, okay, I need that.
That console you have is
like they've given you things to look forward to next year, the year after that, etc. And they've given you enough reasons to justify getting one before then.
That's right.
Like if you're excited now about what's coming, get it now. You can play all these exclusive third-party stuff on the games you already want to buy anyway.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because when you buy a console, you're buying all the games that have already come out for it.
Yeah.
And then I think the conversation that we've had. Well, actually, I'll save that for my last word. I don't want to keep interrupting and extending it.
Yeah.
So, I guess, pretty much same sentiments all around. But I remember reading on Twitter, I think it was Marcus Beer actually put on Twitter, he's like, pretty much Sony's conference overall, like their overall showcase, it's like they're saying they got a very, like, succulent dinner coming to you. You just gotta wait for it. And it's gonna be delicious. You just gotta wait a good while for it. As opposed to Microsoft was like the immediate short-term like need right now, and stuff like that. So with Sony,
the difference is the Microsoft dinner. It's all going to be food that tastes the same.
That's actually what I was going to
But overall, I mean, this was definitely for Sony's press conference. This was the one that I saw the most people satisfied coming out of for obvious reasons.
Yeah. By the way, to just stick to the food analogy, Sony they're giving you like, hey, remember that really good dish you had 10 years ago? It's coming back. We only gave it to you for a short while, but now we're bringing it back.
It's like the McRib.
Yeah, it's the McRib. Yeah, it's like the McRib.
But this is the one Sony conference I could definitely say everybody came out satisfied. Everybody was hyped from the very beginning throughout.
Yeah.
Everybody
this was strong.
And
no numbers, by the way. No numbers.
On top of that, nothing but games.
And a
little bit of Project Morpheus.
Yeah, but even that was downplayed.
But the one thing I do remember, like, strictly for this one, being the audience now with everybody, is that, like, as soon as they dropped the bomb, they didn't give you time to process it. It's like, here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. It's, like, really insane.
I was saying about the Morpheus, I mean, I was saying this before, it's just a very difficult sell for a thing like that.
Can't do it on the
It's going to be interesting, the pricing for that when that comes out, to justify people actually going out to get it, especially what they might pack in with it. If, like, what type of, like,
I think that'll be the day that they do a price drop for the console.
Yeah.
And then have a package with the Morpheus.
Yeah. Like, it's going to be very interesting. But overall, like, this is hands down the best Sony conference I've seen. Period.
Yeah.
It's hands down, arguably now at this point, I mean, granted we're doing this money, and I wouldn't be surprised if everybody calls it now, like, this is the best conference at E3, period, this year. Like, cause this is, like, super hyped, super off the wall, like, it was definitely a good time. I'm glad I got to see all this. Again, being proven wrong in the best way possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Manny, final thoughts?
I definitely have to say this E3, at least so far, this thing's been pretty good. I mean, the last two E3s we had gone to, like, one since 2013, right?
2013 was good, though, because that was the mic drop.
That was the mic drop Sony did, but I mean...
Last year wasn't that good.
Yeah, last year was like everything's coming out next year, and this year is kind of like everything's coming out the next year.
But the things that are coming out next year are things we were waiting for forever.
I do feel like, even though we're Sony, doesn't have that many. A lot of their big titles have been kind of switched, put on the burner for a little longer. I do feel like there is going to be that one pleasant surprise that we'll have. We may not see it now, but they haven't gotten close to saying anything about it. There's got to be at least something in there. They got.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe until dawn. I don't know.
All right, David.
I think that if I did not have a PS4 or Xbox One, and I watched these two press conferences, I would probably buy an Xbox One.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like it gets you the most immediate satisfaction, and I feel like it has some really cool stuff. Like if I'm someone that already has an Xbox 360 and PS3, I can sell my 360 now and probably still play all my favorite games.
Yeah.
I have early access coming. I've got like VR integration. If I get an Oculus, it comes with another controller for the system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all kinds of stuff that, especially if I'm a PC gamer, like getting Xbox One makes sense now.
Yeah.
Before it was like get a PS4 because Xbox and PC share exclusives, but now they're integrated. And I think that's a pretty cool feature. But being the person I am, my personal taste, I think Sony hands down, like I was breathless, I mean, those moments you just, like, once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was an incredible experience being there. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
The roof blew off, literally, like 4 times over.
The energy in that room was just amazing.
It's insane.
That was a press conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, get in here, man. Final thoughts.
I just wrote down my final thoughts for an editorial. You'll see it tomorrow.
Look at him. Yo, his final thoughts are DLC, You gotta get that season pass.
Yeah. I'm proofreading.
Yo, you know what? PlayStation Plus,
nice.
well, guess what?
Yeah.
Good, we'll have that up tomorrow. Charles, go ahead. I just finished this whole thing off, man.
Word. So, I'll go down the line, basically. Microsoft, thank you for doing what you did by basically remaining consistent. I'm not so much a fan of some of the games, but what you have will fit the bill as far as what people expect. Halo looked okay, Gears looked okay. What was that one? Forza looks just as good as ever. EA Sports conference was kind of whack, but I appreciate that y'all reached out to an indie developer.
It was really good.
I
love the anime.
An indie developer.
Hey, we're recording, right?
I forgot.
Reaching out to an indie developer, which was pretty dope. And Need for Speed looks flames. F Ubisoft. And Sony, thank you for making my dreams come true.
Yeah, the best way to say it.
No, I'm writing that.
Okay.
I'm going to write that up.
It's literally.
Yeah, but like seriously, Shenmue, Final Fantasy, The Last Guardian all in one event, and then these new experiences like Horizon, like I was in a state of bliss. Absolute bliss for that.
Want to say something? No, I thought you were about to say something. Yeah, overall, like just everything. Yeah, this is pretty fucking incredible.
And it's only day 0.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we'll have another React. Who knows? Nintendo drops any bombs. 2D Metroid. That'll be a bomb right there.
Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be ridiculous. And you know what? Ubisoft, I'll give y'all one positive thing. Ghost Recon looks fire as shit, and I'm still excited for Division. So, those things are still exist.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
All right, so let's wrap it up.
So Charles, would you say that your fragmented butthole?
Yeah, I forgot about South Park. I am going to check that out too. Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up. So once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by James Lugo.
Good night, everybody.
Emilio Lopez.
Later, guys.
David Jagano.
Peace out.
Gary Glax.
I don't say anything ever.
Mr. Charles Singletary Jr.
I apologize, Square Enix.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of E3.
Woo!